Salam and welcome. Thank you for joining me in another episode of the Quran in English. And we are busy with basics for beginners. A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Something went to my eye. Okay, I'm just struggling a bit today. Astaghfirullah. The previous episode I had to stop it because something went wrong with my computer. So we are just repeating those verses again, right? I won't give the explanation because the explanation was already given in the previous episode, right? Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. When Ya'uz Billah min Shaitan Rajim, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Surah 11, verse 77. When our messengers came to Lut, he was grieved on their account and felt himself powerless to protect them. He said, "This is a distressful day." And his people came rushing towards him, and they had been long in the habit of practicing abominations. So when these angels came to the house and to the village of the Prophet Lot or Lut alayhi salam, these angels were so handsome, outstandingly beautiful and handsome young men, that the news quickly spread throughout the village or the town. Because as soon as strangers come into the town, then the people who normally occupy the streets, whether they are in the pubs or the people who normally just sit in the corners, they will know who are the various townspeople and who are the strangers. And when they saw the amazing beauty of these three men, their outstanding handsomeness, the news spread like wildfire that, wow, let's go to Lot's house and we can have some fun there, right? So it was a big chaos. So, and his people came rushing. Look at the word rushing. They came running in a mad dash, like first come, first serve, let's go. So, and his people came rushing towards him, and they had been long in the habit of practicing abominations. He said, "O my people, here are my daughters. They are purer for you if you marry." He was so ashamed at the way that his people are acting. And Lot knew that these are divine messengers from the Creator. And he had to do something to appease the people that they must not attack his guests. Little did he know that these angels are extremely powerful and no harm will come to them because they have come with the law and the command of punishment, right? So he is offering his daughters to say, man and woman must be together as a pair. Leave my guests alone, right? So, O my people, here are my daughters. They are purer for you if you marry. Now, fear Allah and cover me not with shame about my guests. Is there not among you a single right-minded man? They said, well do you know, we have no need of your daughters. Indeed, you know quite well what we want. He said, would that I had power to suppress you, or that I could betake myself to some powerful support. He was now very, very distressed for the concern and well-being about his guests, right? Because as a host of that house, he knew that the entire townsfolk had revolted and has come surrounding his house. And he was in a state of consternation. The messengers said, so the messengers told him to calm down and to relax and not to worry about their safety. So the messengers told him, the messengers said, O Lut, we are messengers from your Lord. By no means shall they reach you. They won't be able to touch you. They won't harm you and they won't be able to harm us because we are very powerful. These people don't know what they are playing with because we have come with divine punishment because of the abominations that they are practicing, these people of Sodom and Gomorrah. So by no means shall they reach you. Now, travel with your family while yet a part of the night remains, and let not any of you look back. but your wife will remain behind. To her will happen what happens to the people. Morning is their time appointed. Is not the morning near? And the scholars give an explanation as to why this happened to the wife of Lut or Lot alayhi salam. Lot, remember, he was traveling all over the place with his uncle Ibrahim alayhi salam, and he went with him to Egypt and so on. And then when they came, then Ibrahim alayhi salam came to one place. I think it was the place of Ur or somewhere else. And then Lut alayhi salam went to the city of Sodom and Gomorrah to try and encourage them to change their ways. And there he met a woman, part of the people of Sodom and Gomorrah, and he married her. But because she was of their type of people, she used to also indulge in various types of sexual experiences, whether it was homosexuality or lesbianism, and she would take part in orgies. So she was of them, right? Are we clear on that? Whereas he was of a pure person, whereas she was involved in orgies. So whenever the men and women would get together, whether it was wine, woman, or song, and she would be there part of those partying, right? And that is why she was not a pure wife for an honorable and pure messenger of God, and that is why she was then also left behind to receive the same punishment that the entire other townsfolk also then experience. So to her will happen the same thing. She will also get punished, right? So to her will happen what happens to the people. Morning is their time appointed. Is not the morning near? When our decree issued, we turned the cities upside down and rained down on them brimstones, hard as baked clay, spread layer on layer. When the earth goes through this devastation, this was a tremendous, it wasn't even an earthquake, it was such a terrible shaking that the entire village or the town, from deep in the soil, that entire thing flipped over, it crushed all the houses, it flattened all the people, and then it rained down on them layers and layers and layers of sulfur and brimstone as hard as baked clay, layer upon layer, right? So all trace of them was removed. They were removed from the face of the earth. This is the punishment that they received. Marked as from your Lord, nor are they ever far from those who do wrong. Join me in the next episode. May your life be filled with barakah and blessings and abundance and goodness and afiyah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect our children and our descendants from various types of deviations and devious ways for us and our families and our community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us towards those actions and deeds that are righteous and acceptable and pleasing to Him, because in today's time of social media and where everything in inverted commas is allowed, we find so many challenges for the youth where we did not have those challenges when we were growing up. In today's time, it's like everything goes. Man can have sex with man, woman can have sex with woman, man can marry man, woman can marry woman, and they are also changing the definition of man and woman. But for us as Muslims, we do not change the definition, because God has given the definition of man and woman. So who are we to change that definition of man and woman? Because God has created a man in an amazing way with special private parts, and a woman has been created in a magnificent special way with amazing private parts. It is impossible for a man to become pregnant, while it is only a woman that can get pregnant, because it is only a woman that has a womb, a magnificent incubator, a biological incubator from God most merciful, that is the most advanced and amazing incubator in the entire universe, which is called a womb, in which a baby, or in which a fertilized egg where the sperm and the egg meet, and a sperm only comes from a man, not from a woman. and the egg only comes from a woman and not from a man. So in Islam, it is very easy to identify who is a man and who is a woman. Whereas other nations, some of them have become wholly confused, and they've painted themselves in a corner because everything then goes. Because they can identify themselves, and I don't even understand it myself, cisgender and transgender and various types of things. You can identify yourself, and Piers Morgan said it famously. That means I can identify myself, and this is a quote Piers Morgan, he said, as a black lesbian, and it'll be okay. Right? So we have come to a ludicrous way of humanity. And they are also allowing, or attempts are being made, that even bathrooms, which are supposed to be places of sanctuary and privacy, bathrooms are made open for everybody. That means men and women can use the same bathroom. Now, this causes all types of problems because women have their own private needs. They need their own privacy. Some women change their clothes in the bathroom, or, for example, in a school gym locker, women are changing. You don't want a man to be there with you, or you don't want a woman who's converted to being a male to be there with you. And this has also caused problems where there are some men who claim to be women, and if they commit a crime, then instead of being put in a man's prison, because their private parts are still that of a man, they are then put into a female prison where they can then rape other women. So they are causing problems for themselves, whereas Islam tells us very clearly, a man only marries a woman. A man cannot marry a man. Your sexual satisfaction is between man and a woman, not between man and man. And that is why not only in South Africa we've got a big problem, as well as in many, many countries of the world, where there is rape of prisoners in the male prisons, sodomy. And this not only leads to various types of infections, but also leads to the spread of HIV/AIDS, where those people have that. Because you must remember that the mucus of the anus is very thin and can easily rupture and bleed. And it is highly traumatic for men to be raped, and there's lifelong PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. So I'm appealing to our government to please ensure that the prison systems must be for reformation of the people. They must not go into there to be abused in this terrible way. That's not part of the prescribed punishment to be raped in prison. And what is very sad is that many youngsters who are awaiting trial then end up in this very, very difficult situations. So I appeal once again to our government and our leaders to ensure a system of justice even insofar as prisons are concerned. Stay well, look after yourself. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen.